Tim Burton has always had a special place in my heart. He was the first director I truly followed, and for a long time he was my favourite. Until Christopher Nolan came along. Yes, I went from one Batman director to the other. Wow. Greetings and welcome to Fright Night Flicks, where every night is Fright Night. Now that I've seen Beetlejuice and have caught up with every Tim Burton film that he has made that I've missed, it's now time to rank all 20 of his directorial films from my least favourite to my absolute favourite. I should also mention that I won't be including his series Wednesday, since it's not a film, or The Nightmare Before Christmas because he didn't direct it, he only produced it. And just to make it clear, Coraline is not a Tim Burton movie either, so that won't be on the list here. Having said that, there are 20 Tim Burton films to talk about, so let's dive into ranking and see where each Tim Burton film lands. Starting at the bottom of this list is Burton's 2001 reboot of Planet of the Apes. Unfortunately, this is a prime example of how sci-fi and Tim Burton's distinctive style don't always mix. While the acting is solid and the set design and costumes are impressive, the story ultimately falls slant, accumulating in an unforgettable ending, but not in a good way. The twist feels more baffling than impactful. On the plus side, Burton wisely stayed away from sci-fi after this, and the Planet of the Apes franchise got a much-needed reboot a decade later. Next up is Burton's 2019 remake of Dumbo, which feels like he was handed the keys to a McDonald's rather than a film studio. His signature style is noticeably absent, leaving the film feeling more like a generic retelling than a Tim Burton creation.
Not a great plan.
The human characters lack depth, and much of the plot feels like filler to stretch the runtime beyond the original's brief hour. Whilst it's clear Burton did what he could with the material, the lack of freedom ultimately held this one back from soaring. In 18th place we have Alice in Wonderland, which feels more like a sequel to a film that doesn't exist.
Wow, that was weird.
While I appreciate the ambition and impressive visuals that are signature to Burton, the script feels messy. But trying to incorporate too much from Lewis Carroll's work, it loses focus and might have been stronger as a more straightforward adaptation of the original novel. Also, renaming Wonderland as Underland feels unnecessarily strange and detracts from the magical charm that makes the story so iconic. In 17th place we have Dark Shadows, the final film in which Tim Burton teamed up with both Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter, and his first collaboration with Eva Green. Based on the Gothic soap opera of the same name, the film boasts a strong visual style and a good sense of humour with lively performances from the cast. However, despite its intriguing premise, the execution falls short. The story lacks the gripping quality needed to keep audience fully engaged and can feel like a bit of a drag.
Gee, that's disappointing.
Whilst I missed the iconic collaboration between Burton and Depp, Dark Shadows wasn't the ideal way to close out their partnership. In 16th place we have Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the second adaptation of Roald Dahl's beloved classic. While it is visually striking thanks to Burton's directing, it struggles to surpass the charm of the 1971 adaptation with Gene Wilder. Johnny Depp's portrayal of Willy Wonka comes across as more unsettling than whimsical.
How dare you stand where he stood?
Whilst Freddie Highmore shines as Charlie, the other child actors can be quite grating. Though this version stays truer to the book, it lacks the magical allure of its predecessor. Even the 2023 film Wonka feels a bit more of an engaging adaptation, even though it's not based on this book. But overall, Burton's take doesn't quite capture the essence that made the original so special. At 15th place is Tim Burton's directorial debut film, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Out of all the films I watched for this video, this was the one I resonated with the least. I can see how it would appeal to a generation that grew up with Pee Wee Herman, but since that's not my background, I struggle to connect with it. That said, the film does showcase Burton finding his footing as a director, particularly in the terms of visuals and his first collaboration with Danny Elfman on the score. Whilst it is a well-made movie for what it is, I ultimately found it average at best. It's just not a film I consider to be the target audience for. In 14th place we have Mars Attacks. Burton's first foray into sci-fi lands as more as a guilty pleasure than a film I genuinely enjoy. The film is undeniably entertaining and features a fantastic ensemble cast, including Jack Nicholson in dual roles. Its humour and campy charm makes it a fun watch if you embrace the silliness. However, the film's over-the-top nature and erratic plot can make it challenging to take seriously.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
it struggles with narrative focus, leaving the audience unsure who the true protagonist is. If you can appreciate its tongue-in-cheek approach, you'll likely have a blast, otherwise its obscurity might not be for everyone's taste. In 13th place we have Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, which undeniably feels like a classic Tim Burton film with his signature style woven throughout it. The visuals are stunning with impressive production design, visual effects and cinematography that brings the peculiar world to life. However, despite the unique premise, the story lacks engagement needed to fully captivate the audiences.
Gee, that's disappointing.
The performances are strong. Eva Green, Asa Butterfield, Judi Dench and Samuel L. Jackson all deliver memorable performances, but the plot could have just used more depth and substance to match the film's visual flair. In 12th place is Frankenweenie, an animated remake of Burton's 1984 short film, which may be considered the weakest of his two animated films, but still stands as a solid and heartfelt movie. The stop-motion animation is distinctive and pairs perfectly with the black and white aesthetic, capturing a classic Burton charm. The storyline and characters are fun and engaging, and the voice cast is packed with talent, with Martin Short and Winona Ryder delivering stand-up performances. The only reason this film ranks lower on my list is that it not one I find myself revisiting often. However, it is definitely a must-see for all fans of stop-motion animation and Burton's work. In 11th place, we have Big Eyes, which is a unique entry in Tim Burton's filmography. This 2014 drama tells the fascinating true story of American artist Margaret Keane, played by Amy Adams, and how her second husband Walter Keane, played by Christoph Waltz, famously took credit for her paintings of people with big eyes. Whilst Big Eyes might seem an unusual choice for Burton, it's an intriguing drama that still bears his stylistic fingerprints. The cinematography is visually stunning, and the performances from Adams and Waltz are top-notch, bringing depth to the story centred around art and plagiarism. It's refreshing to see Burton tackle something different, though I would say his more iconic work still resonates stronger with me. In 10th place, we have Tim Burton's first animated film, Corpse Bride, which stands out as his strongest animated film so far. His experimentation with stop-motion animation is fantastic, perfectly complementing the film's Gothic fantasy musical theme. The songs are catchy, the story is engaging, and the characters are memorable, brought to life by the unique designs and the excellent voice performances from the cast. Corpse Bride has rightfully earned its place as a cult classic and remains a must-watch for all fans of stop-motion and Burton's signature style. In 9th place, we have Tim Burton's latest entry, Beetlejuice, the sequel to the 1988 film Beetlejuice. The film is a visual treat with stunning production values, impeccable costumes, and practical effects that highlight Burton's creativity. Michael Keaton seamlessly returns as Beetlejuice, and alongside Winona Ryder and Catherine O'Hara, they recaptured the energy of the original. Newcomers Willem Dafoe and Monica Bellucci fit perfectly into Burton's quirky world, while Jenna Ortega stands out as Ryder's on-screen daughter, delivering a performance that channels the spirit of the original. Whilst the film excels in its humour, character development and world-building, it does struggle with juggling too many plot lines at once, leading to some rush resolutions. Despite these flaws, Beetlejuice is a delightful return to Tim Burton, with memorable characters, a fantastic score by Nate Hoffman, and plenty of the director's signature style.
He's back!
In 8th place is Big Fish, a film that captures the magic of storytelling in a way few others can. Big Fish explores the extraordinary life of Edward Bloom, portrayed by both Ewan McGregor and Albert Finney, telling a captivating story from start to finish. The film is visually stunning with brilliant cinematography and imaginative set design, and features fantastic performances from McGregor, Finney and the supporting cast. This film played a significant role in drawing me into Burton's work, thanks to its unique storytelling visual flair. However, I can't help but feel that Ewan McGregor's role was originally written with Johnny Depp in mind. Nonetheless, it's a good film in Burton's filmography, well worth watching. In 7th place, we have Batman 1989, the first of two Batman films directed by Tim Burton and the debut of Michael Keaton's iconic take on the character. As a kid, I used to rewatch this film endlessly, but as I've gotten older, I started to notice more of its flaws. Whilst Keaton's portrayal of Batman and the world Burton creates are standout elements, the writing can feel a bit hollow at times. The film also leans heavily on Jack Nicholson's portrayal of the Joker, which, whilst memorable, somewhat overshadows the story itself. Despite these issues, Batman remains a must-watch for all fans of both Burton and Batman himself. And just missing the top 5, in 6th place is Edward Scissorhands, Tim Burton's first collaboration with Johnny Depp. This modern fairy tale about an android with scissors hands who is taken in by a suburban family and falls in love with their teenage daughter is both tragic and inspiring. Burton's directing shines here, blending a Gothic aesthetic with stunning visuals, all enhanced by Danny Elfman's iconic score. The cast, including Depp, Winona Ryder and acting legends Vincent Price and Alan Arkin, all deliver exceptional performances that bring the story to life. It's no surprise that many consider Edward Scissorhands to be Tim Burton's masterpiece.
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Kicking off the top 5, in 5th place is the original Beetlejuice from 1988. Despite its 92-minute runtime, Beetlejuice packs in a lot of depth and memorable characters, with Michael Keaton's mischievous ghost stealing the show in just 17.5 minutes of screen time. Alongside Keaton, Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis shine as the recently deceased couple, but it's Winona Ryder as Lydia who truly stands out, delivering one of the most iconic performances of her career. Catherine O'Hara also adds charm in her supporting role as Lydia's stepmother Delia. Tim Burton's direction blends Gothic aesthetic with quirky humour and Danny Elfman's whimsical score, perfectly complementing the film's atmosphere. From its stand-up performances to stunning production design, Beetlejuice remains a defining classic in Burton's career and a must-watch for all fans alike. And taking 4th spot on this list is Batman Returns, Burton's second and final Batman film, where the Dark Knight must save Christmas from the Penguin and Catwoman. This sequel is a significant improvement over the first Batman movie, as it feels more distinctive, like a Tim Burton movie, with his style embedded throughout.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
We see more Batman in action, and Danny DeVito's portrayal of the Penguin is a standout, stealing every scene he's in. The introduction of Catwoman is another highlight, though her transformation scene is undeniably creepy. The storyline remains compelling from start to finish, and Burton leans into more of his unique vision, making this the best Batman film of the Burton-Schumacher era. Before I reveal my top 3, I just wanted to remind you all to like this video if you enjoyed the content. I'd love to hear your rankings of Tim Burton films, so drop your thoughts in the comments down below, and also make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single scare, and give us a follow on Facebook. Now, let's dive back into the world of Tim Burton. My bronze pick for this list is Sleepy Hollow, Burton's closest venture into traditional horror. The film follows Johnny Depp as a New York constable who arrives in the eerie village of Sleepy Hollow to investigate a series of murders committed by a mysterious headless horseman. Visually, this is arguably Burton's most stunning work thanks to the masterful cinematography of Emmanuel Lubezki, who captures Burton's Gothic aesthetic perfectly. Beyond the visuals, Sleepy Hollow excels with Danny Elfman's haunting score, outstanding production design, and strong performances from Christina Ricci, Miranda Richardson and Depp. This is yet another iconic classic from Burton that fans of both him and Depp should not miss. Taking my silver pick on this list is Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, a musical slasher that stands out as the only Tim Burton film to earn an 18 rating certificate in the UK. Burton's direction is top-notch here, delivering a dark and atmospheric adaptation of Stephen Sondheim's stage musical. Johnny Depp, Hannah Bonnicar and Alan Rickman give fantastic performances, bringing the twisted tale to life, whilst the stunning production design immerses viewers into the grim world of Victorian London. Though it took me a few watches to truly appreciate this film, initially musicals weren't my thing. The more I revisited it, the more I fallen in love with it. Now I confidently rank it amongst Burton's best work, a blend of his Gothic style and Sondheim's haunting music. And topping my list at number 1 as the best Tim Burton film I've seen is Ed Wood, a brilliant black and white biopic that tells the story of Edward D. Wood Jr., often dubbed one of the worst filmmakers in history. But Burton masterfully captures Wood's eccentric career from Glen or Glenda to the infamous Plan 9 from outer space. What sets this film apart is how it delves into the filmmaking process and the mindset of a passionate creator, no matter the odds. Howard Shore's score perfectly complements the film tone, Johnny Depp delivers his finest performance under Tim Burton, and Martin Landau steals the show in his Oscar-winning portrayal as Bela Lugosi. Despite often being confused with Edward Scissorhands, Ed Wood stands as a vastly underrated gem that truly shows Burton's talents as a director, and if you are a fan of Burton's work, this is a must-see and in my opinion his finest achievement, and that is how I rank all the movies of Tim Burton's from my least favourite to favourite. Thank you all for joining me on this journey through the weird and wonderful world of Tim Burton. I hope you all enjoyed this ranking as much as I have enjoyed revisiting all these films. I'll be back next time with my review of an international film getting the Hollywood remake treatment. But until then, stay spooky.